Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Luna 2.0, what has happened to it recently, and where I predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as some key price lists, levels, and some trades I'm looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you have not yet subscribed, then do be sure to hit the subscribe button for me. So without further ado, let's get into what we are seeing here on the charts. And of course, at the moment, since we last talked about Luna 2.0, we've basically been in this kind of sideways, slightly bullish trend. Look, we're seeing the price kind of move sideways, kind of like this in a choppy fashion. And it's particularly in this region here over the past 3 or 4 days. Of course, if we connect the low down here, just above this $2.20 mark, and just connect all these times when the price is broken out to the bottom, we can kind of draw this bullish trend that the price appears to be moving in. Of course, definitely not the strongest trend line that I've seen, since it only encompasses where the price is dumped to very, very briefly before coming back up 3 times. So not the strongest trend line, but the general consensus is slightly bullish. Of course, if we have a look at these moving averages here, just intersecting the price, it just goes to show how choppy the price is. Half of the time, particularly in recent times, the price has been above. Half of the time, the price has been below. So this is just typical behavior of choppy sideways movement from the price. So Luna 2.0 seems to be moving in more of a sideways direction, but having said that, there still seems to be quite a bit of opportunity for a decent gain. So for example, if we just take a look at this peak here, we just saw a nice 16% pump from the low on Saturday to up to the top, in fact 21%, and it literally reached the $2.90 mark. So of course, from my previous videos from about a week ago, I said the price target could be around $2.70 because of a triangle that I saw, and it turns out we did reach it on this massive short squeeze that we had that took the price up to $2.90, and it's quite a remarkable level here on Luna 2.0, because if we draw a horizontal line there, the price seems to pump up to this level quite a few times. So you can already see several times in this region back here where the price has got to $2.90. We got this region here where it went up to $2.90. This one just after that slightly taller pump there where it got to $2.90. And now, once again, we've got to $2.90. So there really is just something about this price level on Luna 2.0 that traders seem to love. So if you did manage to trade that, if you managed to sell at the top there before the price came back down, then congratulations to you. That's a nice little trade you have, that one. And of course, looking into the future, if we are able to keep up this trend line, then it's just a very gradual rise. It's not all too interesting. If you're going to be investing or trading Luna 2.0, I think the most exciting thing that you could do is trade these pumps that happen every now and then. It just seems to be pretty sporadic, but every now and then there just seems to be a nice pump on Luna 2.0 that occurs in the price. But in terms of direction, in terms of trends, bullish or bearish, or in terms of price chart patterns that I'm seeing, we're not really seeing all too much here. If we have a quick look at the indicators, again, the information that will tell us that we're basically in a sideways trend. The MACD kind of just in and out of the middle there. It's not really favoring one side like it was back here, where most of the time the line was below that 0 line there. And the same with the RSI. RSI is just hovering right where that 50 line is. Very few oversold or overbought conditions happening on Luna 2.0 here. So very sideways movement. But for things to change here on Luna 2.0, I generally am looking at the broader crypto market. So, at the moment, things are looking a little bit iffy in the broader crypto market. So we can have a look at Bitcoin, which will tell us, which is basically like our gauge for how the crypto market is doing. If Bitcoin is bearish, typically we will see similar price action across all altcoins. So if Bitcoin is bearish, we should see that kind of price movement as well, correlated throughout most of the altcoins, and that includes Luna 2.0. So if we see a massive pump like this on Bitcoin, chances are we probably see something similar on Luna 2.0. Obviously, it doesn't have to be 100% a correlation, but if we're in a bullish trend on Bitcoin, we would see more of a bullish bias here on Luna 2.0, and that's kind of what we see with the price going more in this direction instead of in this downwards direction there. But at the current moment here on Bitcoin, it looks like we are breaking down from what appears to be some sort of double top. So you see there's 2 peaks that have come up on Bitcoin. We've seen the price come down to a neckline, which is where the price dips to after the first peak and before the second peak, and we can draw a neckline that looks like this now. And of course, if Bitcoin does break below this neckline, so something like this for example, then the price target would be around 19,400, 19,300-ish. And of course, if Bitcoin were to do that after breaking down, then Luna 2.0, I believe, will have a more bearish bias. So, similar to how we saw this price movement over here, we could start seeing that occur on Luna 2.0. So instead of this slight bullish direction we've got, it might start doing something like this. Even if Luna 2.0 did something like that, that wouldn't be that concerning, considering that that's only 4-5% drop if Luna 2.0 were to head in a direction like this. I think the price movements on here will be relatively tame unless we get some new news here in Luna 2.0. So more attention is brought back to this cryptocurrency. And of course, the chances for the price just to pump like this, as we saw on Saturday, I think the chances of that are fairly reasonable in the future, that something like that could happen, that could make holding Luna 2.0 more worthwhile. So that's genuinely one of the things I'm really looking out for here. Now, of course, it could so happen that Bitcoin goes on another bull market rally as well. So at the moment, we're in the 20,000s. If Bitcoin continues to go up, which there is a chance of, then we should see Luna 2.0 follow a similar slight bullish trend that we've seen it follow. Of course, at the moment, there isn't that much volatility happening in Luna 2.0. There is a lot of sideways choppy movement, so there's a lot of up and down, but considering the volume that we had on Luna 2.0, the volume we had on Luna 2.0 back when we had this pump here at the start of September, the volume is much more subdued. So of course, I do think we're seeing a period where Luna 2.0 looks kind of like, and of course, interestingly, if we look at its history of price as well, it follows a very slight bearish direction. You can see it from its price there on the 11th of June, for example. You can just see it's going in a very slight bearish direction. If I just draw a trend line to connect kind of the tops there, you can see that it's following something that looks like that, and that's obviously over the long time frame. So when I look at Luna 2.0 like that, of course, I do think it's following a slight bearish trajectory like this, but this is over the very long term. But the chances that we should see some sort of pump, as we have seen multiple times now on Luna 2.0, are fairly substantial. So, it could be worthwhile, as I was saying. So those are my observations here on Luna 2.0. That's really all I have to say in this video. I don't really see any chart patterns forming in the shorter time frames. I just see this choppy sideways movement, and I'm aware of the fact that Luna 2.0 has this tendency just to pump out of nowhere as well. So it definitely wouldn't be a bad cryptocurrency to hold, particularly if you want to make the most, particularly if you're looking to sell on those pumps. And of course, it would be good to see what the broader crypto market is doing. Of course, at the moment, Bitcoin is in a bit of an iffy area. So if it starts going down, then we can see that bearish bias applied back onto Luna 2.0. But if we see Bitcoin continuing to rise, then I'd expect this trend line here to hold the price of Luna 2.0. And of course, over the course of several weeks, we should see the price gradually rise. Not at a very exciting pace, but nonetheless in an upwards direction. So that's definitely not bad news for Luna 2.0 longer term investors. And of course, on top of everything, I will be updating my trading view if I do see any chart patterns or any tradable signals here on Luna 2.0. So be sure to follow me on there. The link for it is in my description below. And otherwise, that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.